the passenger found her phone and subsequently realized she was in the wrong. She ended up screaming across the front rows to Holmes that she was sorry, but the damage was done. Sorry doesn't cut it at that point, Robach said, to which Holmes added, I have to be calm. If there weren't more people around then I wouldn't bend down and be as assertive as I was because I wouldn't have a witness that I wasn't aggressive. This isn't the first time Holmes has used his platform to discuss the experiences he has had as a black man. Earlier this year, Holmes and Robach released an episode where they worked through an issue in their relationship live. Robach cried at various points in the conversation while Holmes took a more calm approach. Holmes later admitted he had regrets about recording his tense argument with Robach, citing backlash created by racial stigmas. I flat out said to both right there on the phone at 4:30 in the morning that I don't want to put this out because this is going to, I fear, be viewed as a black man beating up on a white woman, he said on a January episode. Now, if anybody took their time and listened to that podcast, obviously I was not yelling, screaming. I wasn't doing anything. Now, we are a couple who's having a disagreement, so obviously neither one of us are having our best moments. Robach, meanwhile, slammed concerns from listeners that claim she and Holmes are in an unhealthy relationship. That would never have crossed my mind. Race, the fact that you're black and I'm white, would never have crossed my mind, and that's kind of to your point, she explained. You have to think about things that I don't have to think about. And honestly, it took me a second to kind of wrap my head around it. Once you explained it, and once we've seen the reaction, a light bulb went off for me, in a way. And it's just a constant learning curve. But, and I've said this the whole time, I don't know what I don't know, and every day I learn more about what I don't know. The couple launched their podcast in December 2023, 1 year after they made headlines for getting cozy outside of the office on numerous occasions. At the time, Robach had been married to Andrew Shue since 2010, and Holmes had been married to Marilee Fiebig since 2010. They both filed for divorce after their relationship was exposed in November 2022. After sparking split rumors with their January podcast episode, Robach and Holmes clarified that they were still together. We just wanted to check in and let you know that, despite what you've been hearing, we are still together. We're hearing from a lot of you all on our latest episode of the podcast, Holmes said via Instagram video that same month. It was something we really struggled and debated about whether or not we should even put out there, but at this point I'm glad we did. Robach added, our larger goal in putting out our latest episode was to show that, yes, we like to show pictures of us smiling like everyone else and laughing on social media, but if we want to be real and we want to be transparent, we wanted to show all the sides of us, and I would say most relationships. So we hope that all you get something out of it, and we hope you keep coming back. I was at the front, close to the cockpit, using the restroom. He remembered. I come out, and there's a little old lady and a flight attendant. The flight attendant asks whether I noticed a phone in there as she stands there. I whirled around and declined. Even after Holmes refuted her accusations, she persisted in doing so. Oh, you don't have it? The woman asks, stepping near me as if to frisk me. She accused me of stealing her phone in front of the jet, he continued. I truly knelt, placed my hands on my knees, and approached her at her height. Ma'am, are you telling me that I took your phone? I inquire. She seems to be ignoring me. After discovering her phone, the passenger realized she had made a mistake. She apologized to Holmes after screaming across the front rows, but the harm had already been done. Robach replied, sorry doesn't cut it at that point, to which Holmes responded, I have to be calm. I wouldn't have bowed down and been as forceful as I was if there weren't other people present to provide as a witness that I wasn't hostile. Holmes has utilized his platform to talk about his experiences as a black man before. This is not the first time. In a live episode that was released earlier this year, Holmes and Robach resolved a problem in their relationship. Throughout the conversation, Robach sobbed a few times while Holmes remained composed. Subsequently, Holmes acknowledged that he regretted filming his heated dispute with Robach, citing the negative effects of racial stigmas. In a January episode, he stated, I just told over the phone at 4:30 in the morning that I don't want to release this because I fear it will be perceived as a black man abusing a white woman. Now, it should be clear to anyone who takes the time to listen to that podcast that I wasn't yelling or screaming. I had nothing to do. We are a couple now, and we are at odds. Thus, it's clear that none of us is experiencing our best times. Meanwhile, Robach dismissed listeners' worries that she and Holmes are in an unhealthy relationship. I never would have thought of that. Race, that is, the fact that I'm white and you're black, would never have occurred to me, and that kind of gets to your point, she said. You must consider topics that I am exempt from having to consider. To be honest, it took me a moment to sort of get it. In a manner, a light bulb went out for me after you articulated it and we saw the response. Additionally, there is always a learning curve. However, as I've always stated, I have no idea what I don't know, and I learn more about it every day. The pair first appeared on the podcast in December 2023, a year after they gained notoriety for frequently making out outside of work. Holmes had been married to Marilee Fiebig since 2010 and Robach had been married to Andrew Shue since 2010. Following the revelation of their connection in November 2022, they both filed for divorce. Following their January podcast broadcast, which sparked split speculations, Robach and Holmes made it clear that they remain together. "We simply wanted to let you know that we are still together in spite of everything you have been hearing. On our most recent podcast episode, we're hearing from a lot of you all," Holmes stated in a video posted to Instagram the same month. "We really struggled and debated whether or not to put it out there, but I'm glad we did it now that we have. Our bigger purpose in releasing our latest episode was to demonstrate that, yeah, we enjoy posting images of ourselves on social media with smiles and laughing, but if we want to be true and transparent, we wanted to display every aspect of who we are and, in my opinion, most partnerships. We therefore hope that you all learn something from it and that you return often."